Hey everybody, in this video we're going to walk through how I made the Mandalorian symbol on my CNC router from Shapeoko. This was a really fun project and it combined a lot of different skills to put this together. So I hope you enjoy. Alright, so for my next project with the Mandalorian symbol, I'm going to paint black. Here, so you can see my painting station, also known as junk pile, also known as junk pile, also known as junk pile. It used to be where I put canned goods. You can see some V8 still up there. I desperately need a painting station. I decided not to do this on my workbench, even though it's melamine. I decided not to do it on my CNC wasteboard because that's stupid. And instead, cleared a spot here, got a piece of cardboard, gonna put some up here, and see how this goes. Because what I want to do next on the project is do the Mandalorian symbol, but have black here, and then when it's cut out, well, I'll have aura mask over the black, and then when it's cut out, I think I'll spray paint it red, and see if that red can pop, and make something really cool looking. I have my MDF. I painted it with a black, a true black, interior latex. It has some streaks in it, because I have a thin chip brush, or foam brush. I need to get a bigger brush so that there's less streaks, and take more care with my paint job here. Maybe even spray paint in the future, but we're in the dead of winter in Minnesota and I don't want to be spray painting inside. I just took this to the miter saw, took a piece off from a previous project. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use some aura mask. You've heard of this before maybe, but I actually have a vinyl cutter. So I've been doing some vinyl projects for about 2 years now. So it's kind of cool how a CNC router, my paint skills, and the vinyl cutting can all play a role here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this with my aura mask. So I measured it out, right? We saw that before. So we got just about 11 and a half there, and this should be 12. So I'm going to go over to my cutter, my vinyl cutter. I should correct myself, not my CNC router here. And I am going to just put through some of that aura mask. Okay? Real simple stuff here. Just trying to do a measurement. It's already naturally 12 inches, so we'll just bump this another inch, and we should be good to go there. Let's double check. It's easier. Okay, a little too far. Okay, that's pretty good there. That'll be 12 and a half. That'll be fine for us here. So we go ahead and cut. You press down and cut. And there we go. Simple as that. And then the router's going to come through and cut out the tusk. And then I'm going to come through with some spray paint and just spray paint it, what shows through as red. And we'll see how that works. So this stuff can be tricky to get off. Now it's masking film. You can use all kinds of vinyl that's out there. Aura mask is the most popular because it's masking film. It's thinner. You can see it a little easier than other vinyl. But I have personally had trouble with this on other projects, unrelated to the CNC router, and there's actually a black vinyl that I really like. It's permanent, but don't let that fool you, it comes off. So, one of the hardest parts here is to actually get this off here. Now, because I know that I cut this pretty good, I do want to make sure that, I want to make sure that I get the right coverage. Okay, it won't really matter here, but I want to put it this way. So some people start in the middle. I know that I have excess, okay? So we got good coverage here, good coverage, good coverage. Okay, keep coming along and hope that I cut it right. And there we go. So this is the aura mask that I have. You can see here it was blue, solid blue before, now it's more clear. Other people have a thicker one, and other people call vinyl aura mask interchangeably, but just know that this is actual aura mask. It's thinner than permanent vinyl, but it won't stick as well either. So you do have to be careful with that. You do want to press down on it. Some people use just some tape to roll through it. Some people screed it, but you do run the risk of having chips on your wood that will cut through naturally, and then you'll have a spot. So, the thing you have to worry about is just making sure that you do a really good job. Get the bubbles out. Now, because this is MDF, it's naturally going to have some of that stuff. So,
You just want to make sure you do a really good job of getting it on there, you know, the adhesive, because eventually you're going to cut through this and you don't want paint bleed. That's actually the more important part. So every time I come through here, I'm seeing more detail from the MDF come through, which is good because it means that I'm getting right in there. I've never done this on a CNC router before, so we're going to give that a shot. We're going to see how this goes. Hopefully we don't get paint bleed when we're done, because that's the whole point of kind of using this stuff and prepping it up. So, see how much is left over there? And this will actually be helpful later to have a little bit on the edge, so it's easier to pull off later. So I'm going to go ahead and set up. If you've watched my videos before, you've seen me set up before with these clips. We're just going to set that up and get ready to cut.
Okay, so for this part, we're just going to go ahead and start cutting it out over the Aura mask. And I'm going to speed this up so that you don't sit here for about 8 minutes watching the thing move back and forth and do the cutting. So we'll see you in a little bit. Alright, so I got bored and I was putzing around researching Aura mask because this stuff failed on me. Now, it's likely because I'm using an end mill instead of a down cut bit. So I got bored and I closed my laptop. So let's take a look at what happened. This crafting hobby is getting more and more expensive every time. I might have to get a computer dedicated to this device, or an iPad or something like that, because I turned my laptop, I folded my laptop, and this thing went right down there where it was about to do another cut, probably down into here and do some finishing work, and then it just sat there with the spindle on, didn't do anything, because it didn't get any more code. Well, I tried to go to carbide motion and pause and tried to start again without restarting, without stopping. Then that didn't work, nothing changed. So maybe that's something that the software should think about in an upgrade is, you know, if you lose power or it goes into sleep mode, do an automatic pause. Basically, I got lucky. It happened in a symmetrical place. Okay, not a perfect place, but I can work with this a little bit here. Yeah, there's some gouges there, but again, learning a little bit. So this Aura mask did not hold up very well. Honestly, I don't think it's worth my time to paint this. But we could give it a shot. We could give it a shot here. I could put some masking tape up here and reinforce this a little bit. I think what I'll do is I'll get the vacuum going, or the dust extractor going, clean this up a little bit, and see what we can figure out. Alright, so I'm going to have to buy some compressed air. I don't want to bring another tool down here. I don't want to bring my air compressor to do that. I think I'll just buy a can of compressed air. Probably won't use a lot of it at any given time. Okay, so we kind of got that in there. Let me get some of that tape that I had earlier. Kind of reinforce a few things up here. It won't be perfect, but it is what it is. The learning process, and I'll be honest with you, I kind of had the idea that this Aura mask wasn't going to hold up. For a different reason. It's old, but it's old, but also man, I just knew that the downcut bit, this kind of bit wasn't going to help out too much here. Red. Gotta make sure you get all the nooks and crannies. Could have done a better job with this pulled up a little bit, so I think when it dries, won't know the difference. I'll probably go in with a paintbrush and do this middle part with black again, just to bring it to its original color. How to clean up the Mandalorian symbol here. The Aura mask failed on me for multiple reasons. This is MDF, so there's all these little nooks and crannies in here, but also I think my Aura mask was old. I'm going to actually go down to the 613 instead of 813 in the future here. I actually have it on the way. It should be delivered later today. But in the meantime, it's a simple fix. I've got these brushes here. They're dabbing brushes. They come in a 50 pack, and they're really excellent. I've already started here. But I want to show you in this video how simple it is just to dab along. The key is not to get too much paint, right? Like, that sounds so simple. But you wouldn't believe how many people want to just get ahead of the project and get it done. I mean, I'm on my lunch break right now, and I'm like, you know, I'd love to have this done, but I also don't want to ruin it
and have to respray paint down there because I accidentally put some black down there and have this thing all messed up again. Now, because this was enamel, and I'm going to get rid of that spray paint, the enamel took forever to dry, and it was sticky and tacky. It's shiny. I'm going to get rid of that next time. I'm going to use something else, but I didn't realize I had the enamel when I was using it. So, again, slow and steady wins the race here. So even though I'm brushing this here, and I'm like, oh, I could go get some more paint, you know, I'm just going to keep going, because I know I'm going to do another coat, because this enamel was thick. And I'm just going to do another coat here. By the way, these brushes are not made to last. So, you know, if you buy brushes like this, just know that, you know, here's some common sense. If you're buying these brushes for 10 bucks and you get 50 of them, you know, you're not getting something that's going to last for a lifetime. And occasionally I'll use this DeWalt flashlight here to just kind of go in and make sure I didn't miss anything in here. You know, sometimes you can miss a little edge based on how you're standing. And that's looking pretty good there as well. I will go over this again, all this, just to match it up with the intensity that I might have in here. I might have too much paint in here compared to how I brushed it on before. So I want to have a uniform look to it. Alright, so when I take a look, I did some areas here. Now, at this point, I'm reminded of when I was a kid. And I couldn't reach across the plate. So I moved my bowl or my plate around. Don't be afraid to do that. Yeah, it's going to look a little different to you. Because it's not the image that you were looking at before. But same principle applies. Get the top red there. Alright, so I got coverage everywhere except when I turned this around, I noticed a few red spots that remained there. Because of the shine here, it can be kind of difficult to see that. So be sure to move your piece around so you can see the different angles there. Also keep in mind that you will get some bleed because the enamel is underneath this black here on these accidents or these things that I'm fixing. So you will have to go through this a second time, but you know, man, I'm liking this. I think it looks a lot better here. Just gonna lean it up here. Okay, so if we look at this a little bit here, I did have a little bit come through. I'm gonna hit it up in some areas again. Right in there, a little bit there, a bit on that edge. And I do have some different contrast here, as I talked about before. So I'm going to hit up this with more paint as well. Get rid of those brush strokes. I've got some in there. Okay. So I'm thinking this will be done. I might come back and just touch it up one more time. But I'm thinking it's done. We'll go from there. I'm not worried about the bottoms here. Quite yet because I'm going to cut this at the miter saw or table saw. And there you go, folks. Here's the finished product. Looks great. There you go.